Hi food lovers, welcome back to my channel. Today we are making another delicious recipe, and yes, you've guessed it, we are making Nigerian meat pie. It is a savory snack and it is very delicious. Let's get started. We are starting with 500 grams of flour, and I'm going to add 250 grams of cold butter into it. You want your butter very cold and cubed this way before you add it. And then I'm going to just take my hands and work the butter into the flour. If you have a food mixer, you can use it. This is the texture you're going for, very crumbly. And you're going to add 1 cup of water or milk into it. And you're just going to combine the mixture. You don't want it very smooth. You want it still having this rough texture. I'm going to wrap it up with cling film and put it in the fridge for about an hour. Then I'm going to get started with my fillings. I'm going to go in with this onion in a hot pot. And I'm going to just let it, release its flavor for about 5 minutes before I add in my minced, that's my ground beef. I'm using 500 grams of ground beef for this recipe. I'm just going to keep turning it and stirring it together with the onion until all the pink is gone, and then it's time for me to season it. I'll season it with some seasoning cube, and I'm also going in with mixed herbs, some salt here, and I'll go in with a tablespoon of mixed herb and more seasoning powder, just multi-purpose seasoning powder. And I'm going to combine all that so that I can soak in the flavor and incorporate all the spices. And then it's time to add my vegetables. I'm going in with my carrot thinly diced up like this, and then my potatoes also thinly sliced. I'm going to combine that, and I'll go in with a cup of water because we need our vegetables to cook. And I'm going to add this corn slurry to it to help thicken things up. I'll cover these for about 10 to 15 minutes just to let it cook. My lovelies, this is a good time to hit that subscribe button because I make amazing recipes. Cover it up for 10 to 15 minutes, and then when that time has passed, you come back to check on it. You'll find out that your vegetables are well done and your fillings, your meat pie filling, is looking thicker now. Remember to fish out that bay leaf we added in earlier, and look, my potato is super soft. I'm going to bring out my dough mixture back, and I'm going to cut it up like this. I'm using about 110 grams for each, and I'm just going to use my kitchen scale to do that. If you've enjoyed this video so far, remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. I'm going to continue cutting it up until I'm all done. Then it's time to roll out my dough. Add a bit of flour on my work surface and on my rolling pin. Press down the dough and just roll it flat. And I'm just going to show you all the details because I want this recipe to be very good for beginners. I'm going to use my meat pie shaper to cut out a circle, and then I'll put the remaining dough back to, the other dough balls that I have left. And I'm going to do this again until all the doughs are finished. They are cut into circle. This will help me when I'm filling out my meat pie. I want you to drop me a comment and tell me where you're watching from. I have a lot of US viewers. I want to hear from you. Now we'll bring out our filling from the fridge, and it's super cold. It's very important to use only cold filling, never hot filling. I'm going to bring out my circular dough and roll it one more time just to make it longer. And I'm going to put in my fillings into it. You need about a tablespoonful or just 1.5 tablespoonful because you want your meat pie to seal properly. You don't want it to burst open in the oven. You can also use the cover of your small pot to cut out your shape if you want bigger meat pie. I'm going to go around with egg wash. The egg wash will also help sealing the meat pie. I'm just going to turn it over like that, press it down, and then use this bit of cutlery to just give it a finer seal. And this is what gives the meat pie that characteristic, shapes and lines we see on it. If you are very familiar with Nigerian meat pie, you want to press down to make sure it's firmly sealed. And I will go on this time around. I'll be using my meat pie shaper. I just want to show you how it works so that you can choose the method that is most effective for you. So I'll roll it, the dough, and I'll place it on that meat pie shaper, and then I will fill in. For this meat pie shaper, you want to add as little filling as possible because it really makes small meat pie unless you have the large size of it. And I'm going to go with my egg wash. It really helps in sealing it, so please do not skip that part. Go around with egg wash and then you just press it together firmly, and this is the shape. It works a bit faster, so if you like that, you can go with it. I'm just going to continue with the rest of my meat pie. I'm going to speed things up, and kept going this way, going with my egg wash and flipping it over and sealing it firmly until I did all my meat pie. I want you to try this recipe. My son really loved it, and I'm sure your family will love it. When it's all done, you place it in a baking tray like this, and you're going to go and brush it over with egg wash. This is what gives it that golden color, and it also helps in making it super flaky. I'm going to do that for all my meat pie. Brush it generously, and the next step is to puncture it to release the steam, because there will be steam and heat pressure build up inside the meat pie. You don't want it to burst open. You want to give it sort of a space to vent. So that's what we're doing. And if you grew up in Nigeria, you're familiar with this design. So after we've done that, we put it in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. And look what we have here. Very super crumbly and flaky, and the inside is super delicious. Look at those fillings. You need to try this recipe. You will love it. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.